All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I just realized that this is okay, but it's not actually hitting my head. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and waiting patiently for the intro to finish up. Appreciate your patience. Irfan, what's up, man? Tarnished, Meet the Cheater, Petrov, Lady Gamer. Michael Wernath already coming in. He wants to from the start today, he wants to set a goal. So we will see if we can hit this. It's a lofty goal. I'm not sure that we'll be able to do it. We do have topics to discuss, but I don't know how much viewership these topics specifically are going to drive. So we'll see. We'll see. He wants to hit 170 likes. He says he'll drop some memberships for you guys if we hit 170 likes. I think we can. I think we hit 150 likes on the last stream well before we ended it. So official Mark, what's up, man? Jerry Gamer, Alan, Lonely Fades. I didn't actually see the leaks. I saw that it did leak out, but I didn't see the leaks themselves for Marvel 1943. Yeah, Flight Simulator's coming to PS5. Took long enough. I thought, I thought that was going to come way earlier, but people really like that game. Perfect Image, what's going on, man? Dr. Soda, okay. I guess. What's up? Hey to you too. Yeah, so we do have a couple of topics to talk about today. I was kind of hoping that maybe Sony, well, I should go double check. Yeah, I was just like curious to see if Sony was going to announce the event today by chance, you know. We're getting closer to the weekend, and if the event's going to be next week, if they don't announce it today or tomorrow, you know, I think it's safe to say at that point it will be a state of play, which is fine. Still very exciting. There's a new Ghost of Yotei trailer. Yeah, we could check that out. I think there's like 2 new Ghost of Yotei trailers, actually. Or 3. I don't know. They're dropping a bunch of stuff. They'll announce it 2 days. Well, recently they've been announcing it a day before, which is crazy. Okay. And here comes Boss. Irfan, you can feel the hype. Michael says new iPhone coming tomorrow. I get to watch State of Play on a bigger screen. Good stuff. Good stuff, Michael. Yeah, I wonder if they rolled out that update yet so people can gift memberships on iPhones yet. Yeah, so I just saw that somebody's message was removed. I'm only going to say this once at the beginning, and I will only repeat it if it's for some reason necessary, because I know that not everybody comes in right away. We will not, under any circumstances, be talking politics over the course of today's stream. I will not, and the chat will not. Okay? I want this to be a place where people can go to escape the insanity and enjoy video games. Okay? So I'm just going to say that here right up front. If you guys want to have philosophical debates, that's fine. Philosophy is always welcome. But let's try to keep it gaming, all right? But yeah, guys, listen. Michael Wernath is putting you guys up to task. He's challenging you guys. I don't know if it'll be possible. Hold on. All right. Hold on. I gotta do this. This is necessary. Sorry. I have to put those safeguards there, or Boss is going to turn the stream off. Yeah, Michael Wernath, he's challenging you guys to hit 170 likes today. Okay? And he says he'll drop some memberships if you guys achieve the goal. And we know he's good for it. Michael's a great supporter of the channel. But he wants to see us get to that 170 like mark. And so we are already at 50. So we might be able to do it. And Isley, a member for 3 months, says boss mode. Boss mode activate. Yeah, he was chilling in the living room on the recliner, making himself real comfortable. But I guess he was like, oh, it's time to go to work. But yeah, the topics we're going to be talking about today, there's an interesting rumor that's beginning to circulate that is claiming Sony is looking to license out the Decima engine to more developers, which is super interesting because we've talked about this in the past or speculated that Sony could do something like this, or maybe they should do something like this because of how good the Decima engine is. So we'll discuss that. We do have to take it with a pinch of salt, though, because it's not coming from like an official source. We're also going to be talking, and this one might prove to be a little bit controversial, I guess, in the gaming space, but a developer recently went on record saying that they do not believe the PlayStation 6 Handheld will hold back the actual base, or I guess, yeah, would be called the base home PS5, PS6 console. But essentially, we know that Sony's releasing a home PS6 console and a handheld. And according to this developer, any fear of the handheld holding things back, it's just not really going to happen. And he explains why. So we're going to cover that and talk about that. We're also going to talk about Silent Hill F, because the first review is officially out and it's a glowing review. It seems like Konami cooked with Silent Hill F. It's sounding really good. And we have Jonathan coming in, kicking off what will hopefully become a member train throughout today's stream. He drops a single gift for you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate
Jonathan, thank you for that, buddy. I will add that to the counter here. If I could find it. Yeah, appreciate the support. And yeah, guys, we'll also check out the Ghost of Yotei trailers too. I know people want to see that. But before we do that, I want to once again ask you guys to make sure you hit that like button, okay? I'm going to sound like a crazy person constantly asking you to hit the like button because I want to see if we can actually do it. If we can get 170 likes on this stream, we don't even have 170 people watching yet, but if we can do that before the end of the stream, that will definitely help it. And Michael will give you guys some gifts. PS6 Portable won't hold back PS6. He's paid by Sony. I can confirm it. MBG, the man was waiting for 2 hours to see Kojima, and bro didn't even show up. Wait, Irfan. What's this in regards to? The Decima engine is a beast, second only to the Fox engine. Yeah, the Fox engine was incredible too. Fox engine was really good. But yeah, Decima is crazy good. Me and my wife, Alma, you're saying me and my wife are extremely excited for the handheld. Don't even care for the PS6, to be honest. Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that yesterday. But it's in this rumor, or this report, I should say, is particularly interesting to me because it is a developer chiming in, and it's very early, I don't know if we were hearing developers talk about the next gen specifications like last gen this soon, but here we are. All right, so let me move boss over here. First thing we'll do, we'll check out the new Ghost of Yotei trailer. Just give me a second to bring that up. I think there's like 1 or 2 new trailers, actually. Let's see. I'm currently in the process of trying to do my Foxhound run for Metal Gear Solid Delta. Oh, here it is. And man, not easy. The Foxhound run, it's not like the most difficult thing, but it's you got to master certain sections to be able to do it. You got to master certain areas, the boss battles. Dude, the Pain boss battle was like, what the hell, dude? Like, I couldn't believe how difficult it was. I was stuck on it for a long time. You get the platinum over a week ago, beast mode, good stuff. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm getting a little bit frustrated at certain sections, but I'm almost done my Foxhound run. All right, let me get this set up. So yeah, like I said, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button. Chat, when you see new people entering, make sure you ask them kindly to hit the like button. MEG, that chair is massive. How do you get it through the door? Piece by piece. It did not come assembled. But yeah, it is a huge chair. I've thought about, like, you know, going back to my old one and taking this one out of the room, but then I realized, like, how difficult it would be to move it. I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. All right. Sorry, I'm taking too long to get this up here. Okay, so this Ghost of Yotei trailer, I believe this is the one that Sony put out today. And I think this is like their CGI. You know, Sony, every time they have a first-party game, they put out like a CGI trailer or something to like build a bunch of hype. So we'll see what this one looks like. I haven't seen it yet.
We live and we die, but a ghost carves their own path. Wandering a road of steel and ash. Finding renewal beyond revenge. The things we endure make us what we are. But a ghost chooses who they will become. And you will know my name.
Well, damn. Pretty good. I'm pretty sure this is a CG trailer, though, right? Not actual gameplay. Yeah, usually when they say not actual gameplay, that confirms it's CG, but pretty sick. See, I'm really curious. The one thing here with the wolf, she says, like, finding renewal beyond revenge. And then it shows the wolf. And I'm really wondering, like, what... I don't know. They've been pretty... They've been pretty... Like, they tell you that the wolf is going to help you in battle, but they don't really talk about any of the story implications with the wolf. So I'm curious to figure out what that's all about. But yeah, generally speaking, the obligatory hype trailer that Sony releases. And I think there's one more. Hold on. Let me see here. Pretty sure they released another trailer yesterday. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the dual katana gameplay. Bring it up. Let's check this out too. Guys, make sure you're hitting that like button, by the way. They're definitely showing the wolf off more, putting some work here.
Foolish! Careful you do not cut yourself.
I thought for sure she was going to pet the wolf. I feel like they were saving the dual katana gameplay for last because, yeah, I mean, that's like the one thing that they probably could have done in the original game in Tsushima. But they're like, we'll just stick with the one. It looks good, man. Yeah. I guess this is the final big marketing push because it's out in 2 weeks and the reviews are coming out on the 25th. And I'm curious, man. I'm curious to see how it reviews. I'm curious. The big thing I'm really curious about is if it does better, if it reviews better than Tsushima, because Tsushima got an 83 on Metacritic, and I feel like that's not like the highest bar, truthfully. And I don't know. I feel like Tsushima reviewed a little bit lower than it should have, but it'll be interesting, certainly. But yeah, it's looking good, man. It's looking good. All right, let me readjust this. Hold on. '83 is abysmal, considering it's a fire game. Yeah, I always thought that Tsushima was a little bit lower than it should have been. I mean, I'm not saying it needs to be like a 95 or a 93 or something, but I feel like it's definitely better than an 83. Yeah, they do have the director's cut for Tsushima as well. And I keep forgetting that had separate reviews. By the way, guys, we are sitting at 77 likes, so you guys are currently crushing it. Keep it going, okay? Keep it going. If you're able to take a moment, hit that like button. Basically, 90 or so likes, 93 more likes, and we'll hit the goal. I think Yotei will hit an 87. Tsushima's Metacritic score is an 83, but let me see. Director's cut. The director's cut Metacritic is sitting at an 87. So quite a bit above, I would say, the original. So Ghost of Tsushima for PS4, 83 on Metacritic. Director's cut, 87. Yotei, I think the question is if Yotei is going to hit a 90 or above. I think it's safe to say it'll, it could easily hit somewhere in the 80s, unless there's something like really wrong with the game that we don't know about. The review embargo lifts on the 25th. So next week on the 25th is when the reviews for Yotei go out. Yeah, I think it'll probably review well. I am curious. You platinum the director's cut? I did as well. And I got all the trophies for the the DLC was really good. It was really, really good. I got all the trophies for the Legends mode as well, which was pretty difficult. They had a full-blown raid that was definitely challenging. I'm actually surprised I have all the trophies for that. But Tsushima, in your opinion, still the greatest modern Sony game? Well, we'll see if they end up delivering with Yotei. Survivor will give it a 6, guaranteed. Well, yeah. Dude, it's crazy that Sony still gives them review copies, man. Anybody excited for Trails in the Sky first chapter releases tomorrow? Wasn't that like a PSP game? Am I wrong about that? I don't know. I've known people who like those games. I never got into them myself, Matt. Yeah, I mean, it probably would score higher, Ms. Biz, if Tsushima or if Ghost of Yotei were to drop with its Legends mode and we didn't have to wait for it. It would probably score a little bit higher, but because I feel like that's one of the things that really benefited Tsushima Director's Cut is when they dropped it. It was obviously a spruced up version for the PS5, but they had the DLC. They had the Legends, multiplayer right from the start. So it felt like a more overall complete package. You still have your PSP and it works? Irfan, you're saying MBG, I'm most curious about the story and the main character. I'm sure the gameplay, the art, and all are amazing. Only the story. Yeah. I think that's what I agree with that, Irfan. That's what I've been saying too, where everything I've seen of this game looks good. There's nothing I've seen that makes me like I've seen people, I guess, with a more critical eye saying that certain like certain aspects of the game maybe don't look good enough or something, but everything I've seen, I'm like, yeah, it looks good. Like I haven't seen anything that makes me go, this looks bad. But that's my question too. Really, the big question for me is whether or not the story, because the story, I mean, Tsushima's story was so important to the overall, at least for me, my overall feeling of the game. You know, like just the dynamic between Jin and all the other characters, and um, I'm getting, there's a different sense I'm getting with the story of Yotei, and the sense that I'm getting, and this is going to be the most interesting thing to find out. The sense that I'm getting is they're hiding something. I really do feel like they're hiding something from a story perspective. And I think that's done intentionally. And I'm really curious to know what it is. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe they're not hiding anything. Maybe they're. So, for those who don't know, the director of Ghost of Yotei a week ago did a rapid fire Q&A session with Game Informer. And he explicitly hinted that there is another playable character. And that's really interesting to me, because, I mean, the question was, is Atsu the only playable character in Ghost of Yotei? And the director just like basically did this, was like, you know, that like clearly hinting that like the answer is no. Yeah, it's on min-max. No way the ending beats Tsushima's ending. Yeah, I doubt that, dude. Tsushima's ending was incredible. I feel like it's not talked about enough. That's an incredible ending, man. That was like one of those endings that when it was finished, I was just kind of sitting there like, holy shit, you know? Like this really, this is crazy. So good. Tsushima was so good, man. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Yotei has a lot to try to overcome. And I think that one of the things it has to overcome is just how good the story of Tsushima was. Which, I mean, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the director said that whichever ending you choose for Jin is canonical because it happened 300 years ago, which is interesting. So I guess, you know, depending on what you did choose, it's canon. Will we see any familiar clans, like any references to Lord Shimura? Literally took 8 minutes to decide that last choice in Tsushima. It's crazy, man. They did a great job with that. And that's what's interesting about Yotei as well, is that Sucker Punch is known to give you choices in games, like to give you that choice, you know? Basically, you have to choose one or the other, good or bad, life or death. And I feel like everything that they've been presenting with Yotei, they've made it pretty clear that like you're just on revenge. Like there is no choice but revenge. And that's where I'm starting to think that maybe there's something lingering there in the background that hasn't really, like, is it possible that this is the first game from Sucker Punch where they're not going to give you a choice? Like it's going to be fully linear and it's only going to go one way. It's certainly possible, but I think there is that base expectation that there will be some kind of choice to be made throughout the game, or at least at some point in the game. But whatever it is, they seem to maybe be hiding it. So yeah, I'm very, very curious. I have to admit that I am prepared for the story to not be as good as Tsushima's, but for it to still be a fun game through and through. But, you know, they let you play Sly Cooper. Oh my God. Yeah, there you go. The big question that I have, because if you watch that rapid fire segment for Ghost of Yotei, the director of the game, he was asked about Jin a couple times, and every time Jin was brought up, he just really gave this he kind of gave off the energy like, no, Jin's done. Like we're not talking about Jin. Jin's not part of the conversation. But I really find it difficult to believe. Like he also said that apparently, and from a story perspective, this is interesting to me. From a story perspective, he says that Atsu doesn't even know who Jin is because like this was 300 years ago and it's, you know, it's just not known. And that's really fascinating to me because unless he was just flat out lying, which I don't think he was, what's fascinating about that to me is the whole implication of Ghost of Tsushima is that that is like the mark that Jin leaves, is not his name, Jin Sakai, but the ghost. So I don't know what's like, there's something interesting there, I think, that I don't know. I'm just really curious to see if there's anything there that ties to Jin and Tsushima at all, even if it's just like a little Easter egg. Because the way that the director's talking about it is making it sound like there's like nothing there, like it's just completely separate, and then it won't even be brought up. I would find that hard to believe, but it's possible. It's possible. I mean, 300 years is a long time, for sure. Maybe it'll be like Sifu, where you can end them or spare them. See, I don't think so, Ray. And the only reason I say that is because, you know, they're making it clear that you get to choose who you go after. And if you get to spare each person, then essentially her quest for it kind of negates her quest for revenge. You know what I mean? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they'll do something interesting where like by the time she's done her quest for revenge, she kind of becomes the bad guy. You know, she becomes like a really monstrous villain or something. That's like now, like she basically becomes that to a degree. I don't know. That'd be interesting. Really curious. Really curious. Jin being the wolf would hit so hard. Well, that's why I'm saying like they keep showing the wolf. They keep focusing on the wolf, and maybe it could have a connection to her family or something. I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, if I'm just really going out there, like maybe part of the story is she'll discover that she's related to Jin. I mean, could you imagine if they did that? That would be really interesting. That to me would be surprising because I do believe them mostly when they say that it's not really connected, you know? Oh, the trophies for it leaked? Oh shit. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay. No, I'm not looking. But Jin's story didn't even end. The Shogun went after him. There was more story to tell, and I refuse to believe that his story is over. Yeah. I think Sucker Punch, if they really wanted to, they could go back to Jin. Like, I think they are understanding that people would be hyped if they, like, if after Yotei they want to do another Ghost game where you're like, actually, we are going to go back to Jin. I think, yeah, people would be stoked for that. But that is true, Orphan. They did kind of, they did make it seem like, you know, Jin goes on to fight many more battles. And it is, what's interesting about the notion of Yotei being set 300 years after is that the history is there. And that's why I find it difficult to believe. Like, I just don't believe the director of the game to a degree. Like, I think he's purposely trying to mislead because it's like, well, hold on. She's the ghost, you know, but she's not the first one. but she's under the impression that she is because she's never heard of Jin. I mean, to me, that sounds like the perfect setup where throughout the game, at some point, she's going to learn about that history. And I don't know, man. Maybe it's just kind of wishful thinking on what I would like to see in the story, but I do wonder if they just do straight up tell you what happens to Jin at some point in the game. And that's how she finds out that, because if it's not that, then it really is just like, yeah, they just kind of want it to keep it completely separate. Ghost 3 will be Jin as a Yakuza on the streets of Tokyo. Guys, by the way, you're doing a great job. We already crossed the 100 like mark. We need about 70 more. Okay, 70 more likes. We have over 218 people here. If you haven't hit that like button yet, please take a moment to hit it. Michael Werneth is challenging you guys. 170 likes. He says he'll drop some memberships for you guys. So don't let him down. We're going to have the PlayStation presentation, which is probably a state of play, and it'll have big stuff to show. And the week after that, we get Ghost of Yotei. Loving it. Well, that's the thing. The next 2 weeks are going to be kind of crazy because, yeah, we have the PlayStation show. Then you have the reviews for Ghost going out. And, it's worth noting that Ghost of Yotei reviews are going out 8 days before it comes out, which is kind of crazy. Like, it's very clear that Sony is extremely confident in this game. So 8 days before, the same day that Ghost of Yotei reviews go out, Tokyo Game Show starts. And so, yeah, that's a lot happening, I would say, within a 2-week period. But the big thing for me outside of Ghost of Yotei is obviously the PlayStation show. What are they going to bring? Will it be, if it is going to be a state of play, how big is it going to be? We talked all about this yesterday, and I know I sound like a bit of a broken record, but I think it's just kind of at the forefront of everybody's mind right now. There's no doubt that people are just kind of checking, they're checking the PlayStation socials hourly to see if something gets announced. TGS is at 6 a.m. Eastern. She is in Onryo, which is a vengeful spirit ghost. That might be as far as it goes for her being a ghost. Okay. Yeah, they might just stick with it in that sense, Maybe they really do just want it to stand on its own, which is fine. I could respect that if they pull it off. All right, so yeah, let's talk about Sony licensing the Decima engine. I came across this on the Gaming Leaks and Rumor subreddit, and it was posted 18 hours ago. It says Sony is looking to license out Decima engine to more devs. And it says, grain of salt. Please take this with a massive grain of salt. Was talking to an apparent ex-London studio employee at the London Death Stranding event. We were standing and waiting. Oh, that's what you were talking about, Irfan. Okay. We were standing and waiting for Kojima to leave to get stuff signed, but he ended up leaving via a different exit and probably a cardboard box. We were chatting away, and I was asking some questions, and a group of us got chatting. Sadly, he wouldn't say much because he still had an NDA, even after being made redundant. But one thing he mentioned, he wouldn't say what for. I pressed for more, but he wouldn't say anything other than that Sony are trying to shop around Decima to more developers. Not sure if he just meant first party or third. Don't think any of us got anything more out of him. He mentioned having tried Horizon Online. Maybe he worked with Decima on this, but he wouldn't say anything at all, aside from when I asked if I should be excited for it, when he just said no.
Reference to Ghost 1. Think about it.
Perfect Image, you're saying in Ghost of Yotei, quote, we just seen, I think, is a reference to Ghost 1. Think about it. Think about it. Well, I mean, dude, Perfect Image, it almost feels like it feels like a lot of what's on display, a lot of what's being said. I mean, it's one of those things. Just like how much of it could be interpreted that this is a nod towards, like just the fact that it's she's like being referred to as a ghost. That itself could be a nod, right? But I get what you're saying. It's hard to say if any of this is a direct, like, wink, wink, wink. It's happening. It is what you think it is. She acts so weird. Like, I'm just trying to pet you. Okay. Please don't hurt me. The post here concludes, he mentioned that The Last of Us Online was super fun until Bungie came and shat on it. Oh, well, that's just kind of thrown in there. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Again, please take this with a pinch of salt. For all I know, this guy was just BSing and never worked at Studio London at all. He said we were waiting for around 2 hours for Kojima to come, and he never did. But I got a signature from Norman Reedus. So yeah, this was, the source is something that you definitely have to take with a massive grain of salt. It just could be nonsense. But the person who wrote it up seems pretty genuine. Even they're saying that they're not entirely sure. Josh, you're saying how many chapters in Death Stranding 2? I'm on chapter 7, 100 hours in. Dude, I think you're about halfway through. Close to being halfway through. That's crazy. You're 100 hours in. Yeah, you got a ways to go, man. But yeah, let's talk about the idea of Sony shopping around the Decima engine. Do we think that this is referencing Sony shopping it around to first party or also third party, potentially? I mean, to me, I read that more as a first party thing. I think Sony wants as many of their internal studios using Decima as possible because it just makes the most sense. I think they understand that a lot of them are not going to because they have their own proprietary engines. But I mean, if you look at what Guerrilla and Kojima Productions have achieved with Death Stranding and Horizon, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would definitely be on board with seeing more developers, especially Sony first-party studios, using Decima. Decima is like a crazy good engine that, I mean, even still now, I don't know that I've seen a game that looks better than Death Stranding 2 running on the PS5 Pro. Looks absolutely insane. And even, Horizon Forbidden West on the PS5 Pro looks insane. And it's not just about the looks, but it's just about how apparently this is a really great engine for creating open world titles. So I guess a question I have for you guys is, what other studios would you want to see using the Decima engine? I think Sony Bend is a studio that probably should try to use it. I mean, there were rumors that claimed that they were going to use Decima. Uncharted, I don't think Naughty Dog would ever use Decima because Naughty Dog has their own proprietary engine and they don't share it. It's just their own thing. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true, Erfin. Supermassive was third party and they used Decima. That is true. Yo, maybe if Helldivers 3 is ever a thing, they're going to be like, you want to use Decima for Helldivers 3? Yo, how crazy would that be? That would be nuts. Whoa, hey. Okay. All right. You good? Just like, get that beast away from me. Legend of Dragoon. Well, I mean, yeah. Imagine what a Days Gone 2 would look like in the Decima engine, man. That'd be absolutely nuts. They used it for Until Dawn, which is weird though because the remake of Until Dawn switched to Unreal Engine 5. So that's kind of peculiar, where the original Until Dawn was made in the Decima engine, and then when they did the remake, the studio Ballistic Moon, they were like, okay, we'll do Unreal Engine 5. Andreas, you're saying you got the Platinum Trophy for Days Gone yesterday. What a great game. Well, congratulations, Andreas. It is a fantastic game. Yeah, I got the Platinum earlier this year for that as well. Had a really good time with it. It was nice to revisit Days Gone. it did make me a little bit sad because I was just thinking like, man, it kind of sucks replaying this game knowing we're probably not getting a sequel. You can't even fathom Helldivers 3 with Decima. Well, what's interesting about Helldivers is it's using an engine that no longer exists. But arguably, I don't remember the name of the engine that they're using, Arrowhead. But arguably, one of the reasons why Helldivers feels so unique in just terms of how it feels to play is because of that engine. So I don't know if they could replicate the overall feel of Helldivers 2 in Decima. I mean, perhaps they could. I'm not a developer, and I've never worked with a game engine, so I really don't know. I'm sure it's extremely complex. I have no doubt about that, but yeah. The Warhawk engine. What engine was that? What engine was it? Is that what it was called? Just the Warhawk engine? No. Hanzo, you're late. Hanzo, hit that like button immediately. Do it. Do it now. Irfan already did his part. You guys are, yeah. I mean, you're making good pace here. We're at 121 likes. So we're close, man. We're close. What engine was Knack made in? It was made in the Warhawk engine? Are we getting to the chopper? Chopper. Get to the chopper. I mean, yeah, if we hit 170 likes, the Sony engine. Okay, multiple people are saying Sony engine, and now I'm questioning if this is real or not. Unreal Engine 4, okay. I was about to say, like, bro, how are you guys going to do that to me? You actually had me going for a second there. I thought for sure it can't be called the Cerny. If there was something called the Cerny engine, you know, like every studio should be using the Cerny engine. UE4. Yo, that means if we get a Knack 3, it's going to be an Unreal Engine 5. A UE5 Knack 3. Thank you, Jake. Maybe I'll check that out a little bit later. If Fire Sprite is making Until Dawn 2, they could be working with Decima. I think it was already confirmed through their job listing, Irfan, that they're using Unreal Engine 5. Let me see. Because that was a studio I was thinking of, too. Yeah, it says Fire Sprite, a PlayStation Studio developer, has confirmed it's using Unreal Engine 5 for its upcoming AAA horror title, codenamed Project Heartbreak. The project, likely a PS5 and PC title with branching narrative elements, is described as a dark, story-driven, next-generation narrative adventure with a focus on atmosphere and player immersion. I mean, that has to be Until Dawn 2, bro. I feel like that just straight up described Until Dawn. I'm sorry, Michael. I don't mean to make you broke, bro. You know I appreciate it, man. It's crazy, though. Every time you show up, though, Michael, and you ask people to hit the like button, when I'm, like, scrolling through my my YouTube studio, I just see these streams that stand out with, like, way more likes, and I'm like, what's up with that? Oh, that must have been a stream Michael showed up to. You're telling me the game as a service galore wasn't Project Heartbreak? No, Project Heartbreak is... Yeah, this has been known about for some time. Fire Sprite, I mean, they were acquired back in, 2021, so they've been working on this for a while, but it seems clear that they're making a sequel to Until Dawn, and if you played the Until Dawn remake, I think that kind of makes that clear. And it also seems clear, based off their job listings, it's going to be a PlayStation 6 game. So this is like a game I could actually see revealed at the PlayStation 6 reveal event. maybe it'll be a launch title. That would be kind of surprising, but very cool. And I think unexpected for Until Dawn fans specifically. I don't want to like spoil anything for Until Dawn Remake, but they made some changes at the end that heavily indicate that they're going to do more. Mr. B, no, you're the second person to ask me that. I did not see the Marvel 1943 leak. Does it look good? I read a couple of responses to it. People were saying it's like super early. Some people were saying it doesn't look good, but then others were like getting defensive because they're like, bro, it's a leak. Like, it's early in development. We're not supposed to see this. PlayStation just announced Archeron. Streams will now be known as in association with Michael Wernick. I would like to thank today's sponsor of the stream. I know I said we would be sponsor free, but what are you doing? I just heard squeaking over there. It looks all right. It's a fixed camera beat 'em up, it seems. MWG. Was she attacking Kratos? She's just looking at me like, you're going to give me the treats or what? Well, hang in there, Luna. I think we can do it. We're at 132 likes. Keep hitting that like button, guys. Oh, she was scratching it. Yo, hold on. Boss, get down for a second. These damn cats. Have all three cats sitting on your lap at once? That would not happen. I would get messed up, dude. I would get messed up for sure. One's enough. Boss takes up all the space anyway. You hope the camera's not fixed like the leak? I'm muted? Wait. I just see eyes. Oh, okay. All right. We're good. We're good. Yeah, that was on you, Michael. Oh, thank you for that. Hey man, I just wanted to say that I really enjoy your videos. It's been a year since I found your channel. I've not missed a single video. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that, buddy. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. I'm trying my best to keep up with them. Trying my best. I was going to ask, I answered the question in my head already, though. I was going to say, like, could we see Media Molecule using Decima Engine? But, like, probably not, right? I feel like that studio actually doesn't make any sense to use Decima Engine. Do you think Sony would want, like, Santa Monica or Naughty Dog? Like, do you think Sony would push them to use Decima Engine? Surely they wouldn't, right? Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? It looks like I keep hearing like scratching, like she's gonna tear this whole setup down. Konami using Decima? That would be crazy. I mean, look, man, I know that people have problems with Unreal Engine 5, but MGS Delta does look very good. It just needs to be better optimized for the PS5 Pro, but it still looks really, really good. Bluepoint, yeah, Bluepoint could definitely be using Decima, depending on what they're doing. I think there are quite a few studios underneath Sony that could use Decima. I wonder if any of their live service studios would use Decima. I mean, obviously the Horizon multiplayer game will use it. That makes sense. Naughty Dog and Santa Monica are perfect with their own engines, and their staff know how to work with them. They won't switch. Yeah, it would. I guess it would be completely unnecessary. You hope that we see some engine upgrades from other teams with Intergalactic Santa Monica's new game. Blue Box using Decima? Oh, maybe. Well, let me here we go. Let's see here. Pretty sure Team Asobi uses their own, right? Did we ever find out? Housemarque is using Unreal Engine, right? Haven Studio, they're probably using Unreal. Insomniac, I think, uses their own. Media Molecule, Polyphony Digital, they have their own. To be honest, I really wonder if this rumor, although, you have to take it with, it's one of these things where it's just hearsay. Like, it could be total BS, but, I do wonder if maybe it is Sony trying to figure out if they could start pushing Decima beyond their first party, because most of their first party studios seem pretty set. Yeah, guys, like I said, make sure you hit that like button. We have over 200 people here. We could easily get to 170. Michael Werner says he'll drop some membership gifts for you guys. He's challenging you. Don't give up. Keep pushing. We're at 132. Keep it climbing. Yeah, that's true, Mr. B. Kojima Productions is not an official first-party PlayStation studio, and they use Decima. That'd be really cool. It would be great to see Sony kind of expand the Decima engine to more developers outside of PlayStation studios or even partners. Like, it would be really cool if just a straight-up third-party studio was like, can we use Decima? Can we license it? That'd be really interesting to see. Man, Luna must really want those treats because she has completely taken over Boss's spot. It's because Corey's not here, bro. See what happens when Corey doesn't show up? Luna just comes in and takes over. Maybe give it to Sony San Diego. Sony Malaysia. I keep forgetting about their Malaysia studio. I think their Malaysia studio is more of a support studio than anything. I don't think they're working on something specifically, though. What is the name of Naughty Dog's engine? I actually don't know. It's just known as the Naughty Dog game engine, apparently. That's what the AI overview says anyway. It's been developed and refined over many years for PlayStation platforms and is not available to the public. This custom engine powers all of their major titles, including The Last of Us, and has been optimized to take full advantage of Sony's console hardware. This is probably why they had such a hard time getting The Last of Us running on PC. Because when they dropped The Last of Us on PC, it was like a kind of a shit show. Anyone else playing Skate? It's awesome fun. I've been playing it a little bit. I don't know how I'm feeling kind of mixed on it, to be honest. I played it a little bit more, but it is fun. Like it feels good. Like it feels like Skate, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I thought Skate was going to be a game that I just keep going back to and playing. And after my first couple of play sessions with it, I'm like, it wasn't bad, but I just kind of I don't have much of a desire to keep playing it. I don't know if that'll change maybe. And I don't know why it is. I don't know why that is. I mean, I know that you can get a platinum. It seems like a little bit of a grind to get the platinum, no pun intended. But I don't know. I'll have to see. I'm not gonna like delete it or anything. I think this might just be like a random game that I just kind of play sometimes. I've been thinking about trying to go back to Helldivers 2, actually, a little bit. I have it installed, but I haven't booted it up. It's been a while since I played it. Buy the microtransactions and it'll make it better, probably. They do have microtransactions set up. They have a storefront set up, and there's nothing wrong that I see wrong with it. They do kind of do loot boxes, it seems, but it's all cosmetics. And I think that's kind of the big thing for me. That there's a major mode missing in Skate right now because I kept thinking, like, what is missing? There's something missing here, and I realized what it is. I forget what the name of the mode is called, but in Skate 3, what I used to do is me and my friends, we would play that mode, and what it was is basically each person, you have a specific area that you get to skate in, and each person gets a turn to like go in a line, basically, to do a line. And you each go in order, and it's just a matter of who's going to do the best tricks and get the most score. And you're just competing in that simple way. And you'll watch the other players go. And that's not here. Like, that just doesn't exist. And I imagine it's going to come eventually, but it is disappointing to see that, where it's like, I feel like that was one of the, like, that was like the reason for me to play Skate, because I enjoyed that competition with my friends. And the way they do it now is like you can just set up a spot and you are kind of free skating in a sense, but you're trying to rack up as much score as you can, and you're just trying to beat each other. You have like a 3-minute time limit, and it's when that time limit's up, whoever has the highest score wins. And that's fine too, but I really appreciated like that extra pressure of like, it's your turn to go now and everybody's watching. And so it added just this kind of extra layer of competition that I feel like is not there. You've been a tester for a couple of months. Yeah, they do have a lot of stuff that's really good in the game. The most important thing from what I've played of Skate so far is it feels like Skate. They got that right. New Soul 9, a member for 6 months, says, MBG, out of curiosity, can you put up a poll on what engine makes games look better? Decima engine versus Rockstar. Yeah, I'll put up that poll, New Soul 9. But I got to get boss off my lap. Guys, by the way, we did it. We hit 140 likes. Another milestone crossed. We hit 140 likes. So we are 30 away, guys. 30 likes away. And you'll actually do it. So keep pushing. But yeah, I'll put that poll up. See what people vote on there. I'm just really trying to get at it there. So I guess I'll word it. I'm wording it the best way I can. Which game engine looks better graphically? And is there a name for Rockstar's engine? I think there is. They use the Rage engine. Okay, yeah, there we go. Rage. All right. You guys can vote on this poll. So, which game engine looks better graphically? Decima, Rockstar's Rage, or you can say it's a tie. a lot of people think that devs with proprietary engines are lazy when optimizing for PC, but it's actually extremely difficult because games that run on said engine were designed specifically for specifically that. Yeah, that's the thing. It makes sense when you see like, I don't follow like Nintendo. I don't know what's going on with Nintendo's engines. I'm assuming they use a lot of proprietary engines as well, but it kind of makes sense because they're able to fine tune the engines for the specific hardware, like knowing that Naughty Dog, we want you to just make games for PlayStation hardware. So kind of fine tune your engine for that. And maybe in a sense, it's a less versatile engine. You know what I mean? Like it's not easy just to get it running on everything. It makes sense that a lot of PlayStation studios are using, and it's a lot of like older PlayStation studios too, like PlayStation studios that have been with Sony for a long time. They're the ones that are using the proprietary engines. So it definitely makes sense there. All right. This is going to be another gesture of goodwill here. Yeah, Naughty Dog's engine is just called the Naughty Dog game engine. I'm going to give Luna and Boss some of their treats now. Like I said, we're sitting at 140 likes. We need 30 more. But, I feel bad. Luna's trying to like really open this and Boss is begging. So here you go. All right. Hopefully they'll all calm down now. I'm surprised the Decima engine hasn't been renamed the Aloy engine. Yeah. The Aloy engine. All right. Well, we'll see what happens on that front. If we get any more news about the Decima engine and what Sony's doing with it, if they are choosing to license it out or not, I'll keep you guys updated. I'll let you know. Read why they chose the name Decima. Let's see what it says. Guerrilla Games named their engine Decima to honor the historic Dutch-Japanese trading partnership, which was symbolized by the artificial island of Decima. Is that how you say that? The location of a former Dutch trading post. The engine was previously unnamed, but the decision to share it with Hideo Kojima's newly formed Kojima Productions in 2016 required a name for marketing purposes, leading to the choice of Decima. Oh, that's actually very cool. I had no idea. That's actually a very interesting, that's some interesting Decima engine lore there. And Armani Coleman says, we just got Black Panther footage for Rise of Hydra. Like officially, Armani Pepsi Man Cola? Or Coleman? I said Cola. Pepsi Man Cola. I know that it leaked. There's something regarding Marvel 1943 that leaked, some type of gameplay, but I don't know if that's what you're referring to or if they literally just dropped official gameplay or a new trailer or something. Nowhere near the broccoli engine lore. Oh, geez. That'll be at the State of Play. Do you think Marvel 1943 will be at Sony's State of Play? Well, I mean, yeah, Amy Hennig, she's the director of this Marvel 1943 game. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I don't think there's any bad blood at this point. Cauliflower engine. All right. Sorry, just a little distracted. All right, well, we're going to move on to the next topic, and this one's definitely an interesting one. At least I think so. I have an article here, or a report from WCCF Tech. It says PlayStation 6 games are more likely to be held back by their PC ports than the PlayStation 6 handheld. They say here the now inevitable PC ports, not the rumored PlayStation handheld, will likely be why PlayStation 6 games may not push the system to its absolute limits. During a new episode of the Moore's Law's Dead Broken Silicon podcast, Massive Damage's Brian Hemskirk, I think that's how you say his last name, Hemskirk, commented on the rumored next-gen system by Sony, making some interesting observations on how the handheld system is unlikely to hold back the home console. First, the developer highlighted how we are in a post-resolution era, where a game such as Street Fighter VI looks better on the Nintendo Switch 2 than it does on the Xbox Series S, thanks to NVIDIA's DLSS, even though it runs at a lower resolution on Nintendo's system. By focusing on resolution targets rather than scaling down visual settings, which most developers apparently find more impactful, scaling down games from their home console version to their handheld version shouldn't be a huge hurdle, especially if the leaked specifications are correct and using upscaling technology like PSSR and AMD's FSR4, which is getting better and better rather quickly. Even if the difference between the home PlayStation 6 and handheld system end up being bigger than what the leaked specifications suggest, there likely won't be a repeat of the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S situation, mostly due to market share. Considering Sony's current share and what the handheld should be able to achieve in a market that's more than favorable for these devices, it won't be too difficult to set the portable PlayStation as the baseline system, something that Microsoft never had the chance to do for the Xbox Series S with its low market share. According to Massive Damage's Brian Hemskirk, the now inevitable PC ports have a higher chance of holding back PlayStation 6 games. Nowadays, every PlayStation console game is being developed with a PC port that will follow eventually. Having to take into consideration different system configurations, many people using dated hardware like entry-level GPUs from a few generations back, and storage bottlenecks, developers are unlikely to create a game that pushes the console to its absolute limit if this will eventually lead to issues developing a PC port down the line. The developer makes the examples of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, a multi-platform port which remade the game that pushed the PlayStation 2 to its limits, that doesn't look much better than Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, and has a lot of technical issues. And Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, a current PS5-only game that takes serious advantage of the system and pushes the Decima engine to its absolute limits. Metroid Prime Remastered is also an example of a console-exclusive title that pushed a console, the Nintendo Switch, to its limits thanks to the fact that no PC port had to be considered. With AMD not having the market share to push the widespread adoption of any new feature it may develop for the next generation of consoles, it is easy to see how having to port games to PC will likely impact how they will take advantage of the new hardware. And it wraps up by saying, if it would load, considering how much the video game market has changed in the past few years, it will be fascinating to see how Sony and Microsoft will face the challenges ahead with the PS6 and next Xbox. It was totally unnecessary to read that last part. But yeah, guys, what are we thinking about this developer's comments? The developer is saying that, in their opinion, the PlayStation 6 handheld will not actually hold back the PS6. And the main reason for that is that every PS6 game is going to be developed with PC in mind, because it'll eventually get a PC port. And so technically at that point, PC, specifically the lower end of PC, is what will hold it back. Which is kind of, I guess, a similar take to what I said, except just replace PC with PS5 due to cross-gen. And it's interesting because this developer almost seems to imply that they're anticipating that cross-gen won't be as prevalent, perhaps, as I think it will be. But yeah, it's really interesting. I didn't actually know that Street Fighter 6 runs better on the Switch 2 than it does the Series S. That's kind of, I just didn't know that. You think Sony is doing this willingly because budgets are getting out of control? They've probably hit a ceiling. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's interesting that the developer is highlighting something here that I've tried to talk about. Yeah, DLSS is really good. I've tried to talk about this before, and this developer seems to have brought it up, where they mention the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S and say that a situation like that is not going to happen with the PlayStation 6 handheld and the home console. And the biggest reason for this is the market share. Now, I think maybe this does fall apart a little bit, but it's not just the market. I mean, the market share is a big part of it. He's basically, what the developer was saying is that because of Sony's market share, the PS5 was always going to essentially be like the target. And the Series X wouldn't have suffered because of that, because the Series X is so similar to the PS5, but the PS5 was going to be the target. Microsoft, I think what really kind of hurt them is not just the fact that they were like a generation too early because the technology just wasn't really there, like it is, for example, like with the Switch 2 right now, where the Switch 2 is less powerful and capable than the Series S, and yet in some instances it's producing better results. And that is due to the technology that's in there, like DLSS. But, it seems like the big mistake that Microsoft made is they were hoping that maybe that the Series S could be the baseline target. But it's like, well, you don't have the market share. Your competitor has way more market share than you, and they're going to be what we develop for first and foremost. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if Microsoft came out with a Series S and they had the lion's share of the market share, chances are developers would have targeted the Series S first, and then scaled up from there to the PS5, if the roles were reversed. But this is where, if Sony comes out with a PlayStation 6 handheld that will be significantly more powerful than the Series S, in some ways, when it's not powerful, but more capable due to the technology that will be in it, that's a better way to describe it. And they do so having the market share that they have. And also, this is why I said yesterday that you can tell that Sony's leveraging the market share that Nintendo has. It's like, yeah, you're going to see developers get on board with that. But what will be interesting, and, this is going to be something I'm going to be paying very close attention to. What will be interesting is when Sony announces the PlayStation 6 handheld, if the specs that we're getting are true, it's going to be really interesting when they reveal it to see if we have any negative reactions from developers. Because, like, the Series S had mixed reactions, and, it caused a little bit of controversy. And to be fair towards the Series S, I'm not a fan of that console. I've never been, but to be fair to it, it runs most games. There have only been a couple, like a handful of games this gen that seemingly really had problems with it. But GTA 6 will be the true test. I think that game will really be the test of what's going on with the Series S ultimately. And that's a thing. You could tell, like, a lot of games really had to. I think the big concern that people would have for the PlayStation 6 handheld is twofold. Will it hold back regular PS6 games? And if the answer to that is no, then the second concern is, well, just how low are these games going to have to be scaled down for the PlayStation 6 handheld? Now, maybe people are going to be much more forgiving of that because it's a handheld. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I don't know that people are going to be expecting 4K 60 FPS on AAA titles on their handheld. I think people, again, they're going to understand that this is a handheld. There will have to be some level of compromise. But it seems like Sony is in prime position to deal with both of those things and have answers to both of those questions, where is this handheld going to, in any meaningful way, hold back games that want to take full advantage of the PS6? No. Okay, check. Are games going to look like absolute ass running on this PlayStation 6 handheld? If the low power modes that we're seeing, that we're seeing implemented into I'm sorry, I'm just totally distracted by my chat. I didn't realize member hips. Oh no. No wonder why we didn't hit 170 likes yet. People aren't sure what that means. What are member hips? What would I do without you, Hanzo? All right. Supremacy 101 says, with a $2 chat poll, will you be getting the PlayStation 6 handheld? We could do another poll. So I'll end this one. Got 105 votes. I'll put another one up. All right. So you guys can vote on this one. Will you buy the PlayStation 6 handheld? Yes, no, too early to decide. Guys, we're at 151 likes. 150. We're now less than 20 away. Now we're going to do the big push. All right. We're at 151 likes. We got to get to 170. We can do it. We can do it within 60 seconds, 120 seconds. We can do it. Take a moment, hit that like button. We still have over 200 people here, so we should be able to get 18 likes. It's more than possible. And guys, if we hit 170 likes, Michael Wernick will drop some membership gifts for you guys, okay? Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's updating for me. Just lagging behind a little bit there. 157. It's getting real, guys. It's getting real. 13 more. That's it. Just 13 more. And we do it. 12 more. Uh-oh. It's happening. 12 more. I know there are 12 people listening to this right now that you could do it. You're choosing not to. Yeah, I made sure to put too early to decide there because there's still so much we don't know about it. Irfin's like, hold on, bro. I'm coming in with my 10 other accounts. Damn. Irfin's going to come in clutch. 160. So it's officially, the countdown has begun. 10 more likes and we do it. 10 more people. I can hear the music playing in the background. If there is a handheld, I hope it's with an OLED screen. Somebody, I don't know if you're the same person that mentioned that yesterday, but somebody else talked about an OLED screen, and I don't think that's going to happen realistically. I think Sony is... I think if they went with an OLED screen, it would just up the price and the cost of this PS6 handheld too much. Too much. Hanzo says I'm getting somebody to like. That's so funny. Sharing the stream out to somebody. Yo, can you like this stream for me? No, I hear you, Dark Cloud. I hear you. Maybe some PS6 games will be only streamable on the PS6 handheld or something so that they don't have to hold back the tech. Well, that's the most important thing, dude, is like we don't have confirmation that this is going to be a mandate. That doesn't, and I think the fact that Sony's getting it out there early with the low power mode, like the low power mode for the PS5 update that just went out, it seems pretty clear that this is targeting the specs of the PS6 handheld. And that's why they're putting it out here now, because they want developers to have it in their hands right now. They want to be able to get developers to like see if you can get your game running on this spec. If you can get your game running on this spec, boom, your game will work on the handheld. And that's pretty smart considering we're like 2 years away from this even launching. So the idea is Sony should have a fuck ton of games ready to go to play natively. And we did it.
Holy shit.
We did it. Michael Wernick pushed you guys. He challenged you guys. And we're not even an hour and a half into the stream. And we hit, oh, no, somebody unliked it. Now we're at 169. How could you do that? Whoever just did that, shame on you. Oh, hold on, though. Now we're at 171. They were just messing. They were like, I'm sorry, bro. Sorry, I'm just messing with you. But you guys did it. Honestly, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think we could do it. I didn't think we could do it. 169 greater than 170. How could you unslap that like button, bro? But I'm impressed when Michael Wernick came into the chat before the stream started and said he wanted to challenge you guys to get 170 likes. I mean, there are many streams I do that don't even get 150 likes. I thought, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's quite the task. And I was also, not sure how many viewers we'd get in total today, but even hovering around the 200 mark and between 190, 220 mark, you guys crushed it. So thank you guys so much for that. Michael does this because he knows how much the likes help the streams and the channel. And whenever he becomes aware that we hit the goal, I'm sure he'll drop those membership gifts for you guys. So thank you so much for hitting that like button. And Michael, thank you for creating the incentive for this community to get it done. Well, that's fine too, Lady Gamer. Whatever works, as long as you're just hitting that like button, I'm sure there's people out there using other body parts as well to hit the like button. Just make sure you're hitting that like button. Lama, no, not yet, man. I haven't gotten the chance to. I've been very busy the past couple of days, and I'm stuck on Metal Gear right now. I'm on my Foxhound run, but yeah, I want to try it out. It looks really good. It looks really, really good, man. So when I'm able to, I'll definitely let you guys know. Hanzo, thanks, man. Literally no reason why I can't have an OLED screen. The Vita had one 11 years ago. Well, if I'm not mistaken, aren't OLED panels more expensive now than they were previously? Or maybe I'm wrong about that, actually. Maybe you're right. That's true. I forgot about that. The Vita did have an OLED. That's a good point. OLED will be 20 years old in 2027. Wow, yeah. OLED's been around longer than I thought. It still feels kind of new. Micro RGB is the current hype. I don't even know what that is. Micro RGB. Am I going to buy the Xbox handheld? No. You're talking about the ROG Ally X, right? Or the Xbox Ally X? No, I don't have any interest in the Xbox Ally X. If I had like a big Steam library maybe, but I don't really play on Steam. Yeah, I'm not up to date with the latest display technology. Micro LED. Yeah, there's like all these new terms. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Harlan, what are you asking? Do I stream? Yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying. Do I stream my workouts? No, I do not stream my workouts. I mean, occasionally, well, it's actually more than occasionally. I do reps at the end of the stream sometimes, if that's what you mean. If we hit like 50 members. Anybody heard of QDEL display? That's the newest display tech? No, I never heard of that. Sony LED. Oh, you were trying to mess with me, Dillo? Oh. I don't know. I mean, I answered the question earnestly. You know, sometimes people are curious. Hold on. My studio just crashed again. IPS is fine on a handheld. Well, I mean, I imagine that at the very least, it'll be a screen that's better than what's in the PlayStation Portal. If I'm not mistaken, I think the PlayStation Portal screen caps out at 1080p. So I'm assuming it'll hit a higher resolution. I don't know, Irfan. It just does that sometimes. Yeah, the YouTube Studio just crashes for whatever reason. It's OLED with the backlight. Self-emitting OLED that doesn't have burn-in. Oh. Well, damn. It sounds expensive. Yeah, well, that's the thing. The PlayStation 6 handheld is absolutely going to take advantage of PSSR. Yeah, I'm just so curious about this, man, because we were getting rumors like a year ago, maybe even a year and a half ago. We were getting rumors of Sony, doing something behind the scenes with a proper handheld, and we were hearing rumblings that a proper handheld is being greenlit. But I don't know. I just had this idea in my mind, and I think most people did, that this is something separate. This is something separate from the PlayStation 6 and from the PlayStation 5. But now it's come into focus pretty clearly that, like, no, this is a PlayStation 6 device. Like, this is going to be part of the family of, it's basically going to be like a lower end PS6 console. And that definitely is not something I was expecting. And I don't want to, I don't want to see it get in the way of anything for the PS6, but I don't know. I'm just really curious to see, we joke around sometimes about like the road to PlayStation 6 with Mark Cerny, his ASMR talk, but like in all seriousness, like, hell yeah, I want to hear what he has to say about this. I really want to hear what he has to say about it. It's going to be like a 2-hour long presentation, bro. Or there's going to be 2 separate presentations, one for the handheld, one for the home console. They're going to, it is going to be one long 2.5-hour Mark Cerny presentation, road to PS6, and you can actually go to movie theaters and watch it as it's being streamed. You can see it on the big screen in all its glory. But yeah, very interesting to hear what this developer had to say about the PlayStation 6 handheld. According to this dev, we don't have to worry about this handheld holding back the PlayStation 6 because PC is going to do that, apparently. So I guess we'll find out. We will find out. The only other thing I want to say before we move on to the final topic and talk a little bit about Silent Hill F is make sure you pay attention to any game that gets patched for PlayStation's low power mode, because the update just went out yesterday, and it is a setting on your PlayStation 5 right now. You can go in the settings and turn on low power mode, and games that support it will play in low power mode. And the first 3 games are Demon Souls, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, and Ghost of Yotei. So, I'll report to you guys every time a new game is announced to, be supporting a low power mode, because there is a really good chance that every game we see from this point forward getting patched for low power mode, that's like a low key indicator that that's going to work on the PlayStation 6 handheld. So, if it's not, then my God, Sony really went out of their way. Like that's the funny part about this is right now Sony is saying they're doing this for environmental reasons, and I believe that they do take that very seriously. But make no mistake, like there's a lot of work and effort going into the creation of this and making it a setting on the PS5, and just there's a lot of preparation that went into it. So, it's kind of genius, I have to admit. Like if this is secretly their way of like basically putting it out there that Demon Souls, Ghost of Yotei, and Death Stranding 2 are all going to be playable natively on the upcoming PlayStation 6 handheld, but right now they're just saying it's just an energy saving mode. It's for environmental reasons, and we, low power mode. We want to save you energy. That's kind of genius. That's actually really smart. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated with that. Sony bleeds liquid metal. They need to comply with the ratings. I wonder if this low power mode will make the Portal better. Probably not, I would say, Ray, just because it's like the Portal's completely at the mercy of your internet connection. That's my guess anyway. And there he is, Michael Wernick. He comes in, and as promised, he drops 20 more gifts for you guys. He dropped 20 yesterday for hitting 150. He drops 20 more today, and he drops another 5, actually. So he drops 25 member gifts. Boom.
Holy shit.
He did it. You guys did it. So shout out again to the community we're actually sitting at 183 likes, which is crazy to see. So thank you guys so much for that. And Michael, bro, thank you for the member gifts. Thank you for always 25 Wernick's. Yeah. Thank you for always showing great support to the channel and the community here. I really appreciate that, buddy. And so with that, we are now at 26 members. We probably are going to do a members lounge today, today, by the way. This stream will probably be a little bit on the shorter side to accommodate that. He dropped 25 hips. Yeah. So if you guys want to, partake in the members lounge for a little while when we do it, consider becoming a member, or maybe you'll get lucky and you will receive a member gift. And if you just received a member gift from Michael, make sure you tune into that. But good stuff. Cash is king. Yeah. All right. Good stuff there, man. Hold on. Where are we at? Oh, okay. I swear, man, some of these pop-ups are so bizarre. I just don't get it. All right. So yeah, we'll move on from the PlayStation 6 handheld topic. We'll see what other developers maybe start to say about it. I will certainly keep you guys updated. Michael says, "I love you, boss." Leia and Luna. Yeah, they're all gone now because I already gave them their treats. Don't worry, Michael. I knew you were good for it. I already gave them their treats. See, I did believe in this community. I did. I said I didn't think we could do it, but I gave them their treats early. So thank you, man. All right, so yeah, let's move on to the final topic. And this one is let me get this out of here. This is about Silent Hill F. And a lot of people are really curious. We have a lot of Silent Hill fans here. I'm a Silent Hill fan. A lot of people are really curious if Silent Hill F is actually going to be a good Silent Hill game. This is the first original Silent Hill title that Konami's made in a long time. They've had a little bit of a history with, their more recent original Silent Hill titles just not being good and not actually living up. Digital Dude, you're saying, have you ever lost a pet before MBG, like as in passing away? Yes, I have. I had a dog. His name was Spike. He was a Beagle Terrier mix, and yeah, he passed away, which is this was God, this was a while ago, 12 years ago at this point, 11 years ago. So yeah, that was very sad. Meet the Cheater saying that game's about to make you a Silent Hill fan. Well, yeah, so we have the first official Silent Hill F review. And I have the write-up here. It says Silent Hill F receives series highest Famitsu score and playtime is around 12 to 13 hours. The first official review for Konami's Silent Hill F, not including the one that allegedly broke embargo. The review that they're referring to, I don't know the name of the outlet, but the outlet gave it a 9.5 out of 10. And they weren't supposed to break the embargo yet. But Famitsu, I think, got permission to put theirs out a little bit early. And it says it received a 36 out of 40, which means 9s across the board, making this the highest rated title in the series for the publication. Last year's Silent Hill 2 remake received a 35 out of 40 from Famitsu. So, that's kind of shocking. I have to say, like, Famitsu giving it the highest ever rating for any Silent Hill game is kind of crazy. It says extensive praise was given to the atmosphere, visuals, and sound, with the overall narrative mystery making it hard to stop playing, in quotes. The combat was also described as, quote, surprisingly satisfying, especially when executing counterattacks, but those who struggle with action games might find it a bit challenging even at the lower difficulties. So there's a lot of action in this Silent Hill game. Oh, it was Dual Shockers? Okay. Yeah. That's who broke the embargo. And it says Konami already confirmed multiple endings for Silent Hill F, including the return of the UFO ending, with New Game Plus unlocking new content, including cinematics. As such, average playtime per playthrough is noted to be around 12 to 13 hours, with one reviewer stating that they felt completely broken at times. Not the game being broken, like the story making them feel broken. So, god damn, dude. I mean, it's looking like Konami fucking cooked with this game, bro. I think we may be looking at like one of the sleeper hits of the year with Silent Hill F. Not saying that there wasn't like an expectation there, but I just think that a lot of people were prepared to be disappointed in the fact that it's been a long time since Konami's produced an original, really good Silent Hill game. And according to Famitsu, if you're going just based off of Famitsu's reviews, this is the best Silent Hill game ever made. If you're just going based off of them and their scores, that to me is kind of shocking. And so I have to say that, like, this was a game, obviously I want to play and I'm going to play. It's a game that I was thinking about holding off on, but now, just like getting to it a little bit later on. But I think this is going to be a day one buy now. I'm leaning more towards that because I didn't think it was going to be this good. I have to admit, everything I've seen looks good, but I still was like, I don't know, maybe it's still going to be lacking in some areas. Silent Hill 2 Remake is like the high bar for me, man. But to hear that it's this good is like, oh shit, okay. Yeah, I think I'm about to get on this right away. You'll play it day one if it rates higher than Silent Hill 2. Well, yeah, that's the thing. This is just one review. Let me see when I think Famitsu was allowed to publish it early. Silent Hill F review embargo. Oh, I forgot there's an early access launch for this game. Hold on, let's see. Why can't I find when the embargo is? This one person writes, though, and I guess maybe this is worth keeping in mind. And this is why, like, it'll be interesting to see the rest of the reviews. Not to, like, be negative here, but just, I think what this person's saying may be worth paying attention to. They say Famitsu cannot be trusted super well with Japanese games. They tend to rate many things out of Japan with inflated review scores. Not to say that it's not deserving of it. The game looks great and could be great, but just take it with a grain of salt for the time being. So I don't know if there's truth to that. I don't know if you guys are more familiar with Famitsu. Again, even with that in mind, though, like to me, the fact that it's the highest rated, and also the fact that DualShockers gave it a 9.5. I don't know, man. These things are all right. So the review embargo. Wow, that's surprising. I guess Famitsu really had permission to go early, man, because the review embargo is expected to be lifted September 22nd. So yeah, I guess Konami was like, "Go ahead, Famitsu. You guys can go like days ahead." But yeah, man, the Silent Hill 2 remake that we got last year to me was incredible. And I'll be honest, man, I don't think there's any chance that this game could surpass that for me. But still, man, if it's as good as it's starting to sound, I'm getting pretty stoked. The gameplay I've seen looks good of this title. I'm really interested to see how it is with combat, though, because everything I've been hearing about Silent Hill F is saying that this game leans much more into like combat than expected, which is ironic because you're playing as like, I guess like a kind of frail schoolgirl, but it's gonna have like the most combat. But apparently, it feels really good, and I'm excited at that notion, and I think it's mostly melee combat, so good stuff, man, good stuff. Famitsu's reviews are always kind of a marketing in Japan. They're big over there. That makes sense. And I guess this game is expected to do well in Japan, right? Like, I mean, it's very it's all Japanese. It's a super Japanese game. Tomorrow you get your Chronos. Next Thursday you get Silent Hill F. Ray's gonna be eating good, bro. He's eating good. Horror games. Melee combat, but survivalist with resource management. Virgil says games I want this year: Ninja Gaiden 4, Silent Hill F, Metal Gear, Hell's Us, Lost Soul Side, and Yotei. That's a lot, yeah. Vic, you're saying physical gets screwed. What are you referring to there? Yotei has 45 bronze trophies, 6 silver, 2 gold, and 1 platinum. 54 trophies in total, excuse me. Okay. Guys, so here's what we're gonna do. We're getting close to hitting the 2-hour mark, and I'm probably gonna wrap this stream up at the 2-hour mark. I know that's early, but it's because I want to go over to a members lounge. So I want to make this like a last call for any support. Like if you want to become a member, if you want to drop membership gifts, super chats, direct donations, you have about 10 more minutes to do so, and then we'll head over to the members lounge. If your husband was still around, he would play the Silent Hill games. Oh, you're talking about the early access for Silent Hill F, and if you get it physically, you don't get access to it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I hate that. To be honest, I didn't even know there was early access for Silent Hill. I guess it does make sense, though, because they did the digital early access for the deluxe version of Metal Gear Solid Delta, which I did cave to. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the bonus pre-order stuff. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's getting harder and harder, I think, to not harder, that's the wrong term to use. It's just feeling more and more like physical is slowly but surely starting to fade. Um and that seems to mainly be because not because like developers are walking away from it or anything, but it just seems to mainly be because people are choosing to buy digitally, like in mass. I saw that with Sony's corporate report, apparently only 3% of their money made for PlayStation is made from physical games. And I'm like, that's fucking concerning. Like, that's actually like kind of horrifying. 3%? What? Like 3%. So yeah, I don't know. That's but from what I heard, the way that they count it though, it kind of skews it a little bit. Jake Skew, looking at your email, Famitsu has published its estimated physical game software data for Japan for the week of September 1st to 7th. Borderlands 4 for PS5 was the only new release to chart in the top 10, opening at 13,000 retail copies sold. On the hardware side, Switch 2 sold 44,200 units. PS5 sold 21,700 units. Xbox sold 125 units. Got Nintendo games dominating the charts. Metal Gear Solid Delta at number 8. It's interesting if Famitsu, I guess it makes sense. Famitsu keeps track of all that. Jake, thank you for that, buddy. I do appreciate it. And we have Young West. Young West comes in and becomes a member. Young West, thank you for that, buddy. I hope to see you in the members lounge. We're going to hang out there for a while. Yeah, that's true, Alan. 3% is still quite a good chunk of change. Still 1% more revenue than from PC. That's true. With Young West becoming a member, though, that brings us up to 27 on the day. So thank you guys for the support. I very much appreciate it. It's easier, but they hardly offer deals on them, too. There needs to be another place to buy digital if we're going to be all digital. Well, I mean, I don't know what it's going to take. To be honest, I don't know that we'll ever be all digital. As long as Sony is, I think something would have to fundamentally change. I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming there will be a PlayStation 7 generation. And maybe by that time, that's when it's like obvious to everybody that like the PS6 generation is the last one where you're getting physical video games made, from 99% of publishers. Because if you look at where we were at the beginning of the PS5 generation and where we are about 5 years later, it's like, yeah, dude, physicals I mean, I hate to say it, but it is on its way out. Like, it's diminishing. And to be clear, I think that, because the future is very uncertain about future generations of console hardware, we could see a situation where, like, you will see physical live on through the PlayStation 6 many years after the PlayStation 6 generation. Because who even knows what the PS7 looks like? You know what I mean? I don't. It's really difficult to predict that far in advance. But you do see how less and less and less people are buying physical. And yes, developers are taking note, studios and publishers are taking note, platform holders are taking note. Sony's like the last bastion, you know. Microsoft's done with physical. I mean, ironically enough, Microsoft may still sell physical video games on PlayStation and on Switch, but I don't know what they're. I mean, Xbox's percentage has to be like less than 1%, dude. For physical, it has to be. Nintendo's is probably still pretty high, though. Nintendo's is probably much higher than Sony's. But when I say that Sony's like the last bastion for physical, I'm talking about like real physical. Because I feel like, Nintendo's having a bit of a struggle with their key cards. And not everything is just a key card. Like, there are physical Switch 2 games where everything's on the card. But the thing is, the way it is right now for PlayStation, the overwhelming majority of physical PS5 games can be played offline because the entire game is on the disc. There are some exceptions, but, it just seems like that's going to start slowly fading out as we go into the next generation. So, I don't know. I've seen people this generation, and there might even be people here right now where they're like, we're gonna go all digital. Magnum Gaming, no. I'll let you say what it is, but I do just want to inform you that this stream is not. We're not going to be talking about that. If you want to tell me what it is, though, just so I'm informed, that's fine. But I probably won't be commenting on it here. We are going to move over to a members lounge, though, in approximately 3 minutes. So if you are a channel member, please come hang out for a little while. Sony themselves are trying to push people to buy digital games. They make the most money digitally. Oh, yeah. Well, Sony wants that. I think Sony understands that they don't need to force it, though. That's the thing. Sony is realizing that they realized a while ago that it's just going to happen. They don't have to force anything. Okay, Magnum. Yeah, I saw that circulating. Yeah, that's pretty cringe. That's pretty cringe, I'm not going to lie. Shems, you're asking if you missed the Silent Hill. We actually, we're just wrapping up that topic now, and we're going to move over to the members lounge. But if you want a brief summary, Silent Hill F got the highest ever review score from Famitsu for a Silent Hill game. And apparently it's scored a 9.5 on DualShockers. Now that leaked out, but by the way, guys, very, very impressive today. We are at 196 likes. Crazy. Guys, we need 4 more likes to hit 200. And we'll be able to wrap the stream up with 200 likes, which is crazy. It's 100 likes per hour. Not bad at all. So thank you, guys. Well, I mean, yeah, dude. Konami went all in with the Japanese setting of Silent Hill F. They went all in, and I think it was a little bit of a risk. I think the risk was setting a Silent Hill game outside of Silent Hill. I think that's the risk, and it seems like it's paying off from what I can tell, which is good. But, guys, this is where I'm going to wrap it up. To all my members, I'm going to be spooling up a members lounge in a couple minutes, so I'll see my members over there. But yeah, to everybody else, I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. We got through all the topics, and we need one more like to hit 200. So make sure you hit that like button on your way out. And I want to thank everybody for dropping any support. If you dropped memberships, if you became a member, super chats, direct donations, thank you so much. We're totally fan funded. I can only do what I do here because you guys make it possible. So thank you so much for that. And also want to give a shout out to Devil Shooter, who does the timestamps for the streams. If you see Devil Shooter in the comments, give him some love, show him some thanks. I know he really appreciates it. And that's it. So guys, thank you again. Members, I'll see you in the lounge in a couple of minutes. To everybody else, I will see you in the next proper stream. I did put a video out. You can go check that out if you haven't yet. And that does it. So guys, I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care, everyone.